By the way, what are you doing with the blessed freedom you have?
Right?
That part of it, as an American, drives me out of my mind.
Yeah, it drives me
Bro,
insane.
you're telling me that that's what you did with it? I don't give. I just how I'm gonna. You look like a complete jack off. All day,
and it makes us all look bad.
You're doing it to all of us. So that here's how it.
Other countries look at you and think that I'm like you.
Welcome to another episode of Don Draper's Den. On this podcast, we discuss branding and marketing, how it touches so many aspects of our lives. We also talk a bunch of trash about music and food and culture and nostalgia and so much more, usually each other. We hope that you're entertained. We hope you can get some insight from two marketing pros such as ourselves. I'm Chris. This is Ernie. In this episode, we get into America, bro.
America.
Deep. We're talking Eagles and guns and just all the stupid stuff and those cool Macho Man glasses.
Yeah. We show how ignorant we are of the world.
Oh, it's
true American.
Just awash in ignorance. And of course, our admiration for all the good things in America, but of course, the rest of the world. Because it's a cool place we live in. So we do hope you're entertained by it. Of course, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. Want to blow this up? We appreciate the help in doing so. And without further ado, pour yourself a glass and let's get into this.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Hyping myself up for this episode. Rocked a little Glory campfire theme.
Oh, yeah?
Classic.
Nice.
Rocked Ric Flair, the drip. You know that one?
I know Ric Flair.
Or I don't know if I can't do it justice. I can't do the whole thing, but he's like, I spent more money last year on spilt liquor than you made all year, whatever the line. Just talking crazy shit. I love it.
Right.
I love it. Now, there was a couple years back, some football team, they did that whole spiel. I love it. What else? Independence Day, you like that one, right? Just hype pieces.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All things hype piece, right? Chris Stapleton, bro. National
Anthem. Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Dude, I watched that like several times.
It's so good.
I'm probably contributed over like 100 views.
At least. Yeah, no, like
I love that.
Every couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before, man, driving home, there's a lot of farms out on out to our neck of the woods out here in Ohio. And yeah, man, you just get to,
you feel all patriotic. See the flags flying.
Are you kidding? Yeah. And there's eagles around here. So every now and again, I mean, even if it's a vulture, the point is that there's some big ass predatory looking bird. And I'm driving down the road in an F-150. And hell yeah, windows are down. And I'm just sitting there just crying and
driving past the combines on the road, feeling all American proud.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Seeing good old boys with the American flag on their mounted to their truck.
Glad it's not.
I love that shit.
Glad it's not like 70 years ago. They wouldn't have been so happy to see us. But that doesn't matter. It's fine. Right. We're here now.
No,
right?
We're here now.
But yeah, what's different back then? Anyways, so that's amazing. So yeah, it's hot. I'm over the bugs. I think the bugs are going away out here. The cicadas are done with, hopefully soon. But it's hot.
Did you guys have cicadas where you live?
No.
Yeah, we didn't have it where we live. I've only probably seen like 3 or 4 cicadas. And that's mainly because of where our offices is.
Right.
Other than that. But then there's other people who are like done with it. Like they've seen so much of it. We dropped Lily off at camp. A couple weeks ago, and like all you could hear is you could hardly even hear each other talking.
Yeah, it was super
from
weird.
This distance. It was so loud.
It wasn't the high pitch. I said it before. It wasn't the high pitch chirping from the bug, right? Because that's what they do. They're right next to you. Dude, it was the weird like environmental hum. That's what I didn't expect. Where I got out and it was like this. I don't even know how to put it, man. Yeah, I don't know how to put it, but it was this deep environmental hum.
Yep.
I was like, what is going on here, bro? It was like an alien planet.
You remember that World Cup year where they had those I forget what they call them, but they're like these horns And
no, I can imagine what you mean. I know.
Well, like they handed out all these different like horns. I can't remember what they called it. It was, I think it was like when the World Cup was in Brazil that year.
Right.
And it was just nonstop people blowing the horn. So all you heard, like, and I can't imagine the guys on the pitch where you just heard, you know, this
whatever.
Like it was like this. It was like this almost buzzing note.
Right.
You know, and everybody playing it at the same time. That's kind of what cicadas are. After a while, it's just like deafening.
Right. Yeah.
But where we lived, I didn't get it.
No, it's not that bad. I think it has something to do with the tree.
Yeah, the trees and
I don't know. I'm no scientist. I don't care. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with it. Except that they got stuck. I think it was driving here, and I just didn't have a chance. And then they got like they're no kid. Like they're like 2 thumbs big. Like they're huge bugs. For those that don't know, maybe in Florida, you know, a palmetto bug does giant cockroaches or something, right? But they're like grasshopper size. They're huge. And then they hit the wind. And then, okay, now I got bug guts, but it's not regular bug guts. Like it's substantial.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like, oh, was that a small bird?
Yeah.
Did I hit a hummingbird? Poor little fella.
I hit one while riding. Yeah, I hit right smack in the forehead. Boom. Because, you know, I don't wear helmets. So I'm just riding. And it was funny because it was after I went to the bank and I know all the tellers there.
Right.
And, you know, I tease them about
That's
a lot of things.
That's an odd lead into the hit with the bug.
I tease them a lot about different things, you know, become friends with them. Yeah. And one of them was like, you know what? I hope when you're riding, you like choke on a cicada. Yeah. And I kid you not, I got on my bike, got on the road, and poof, it just hit me. Yeah. Fortunately, it wasn't in my mouth, but
she was a witch.
Hit me right in the forehead. I'm like,
that lady at the bank is a witch. She's out to destroy you.
But other than that, no, I haven't really experienced it.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So I'm thinking, all right, so there's so many bugs. we're going somewhere else with this one today. But I'm just kind of on the hustle. I'm like, can we make these into anything?
The bugs?
I mean? Yeah, something.
Oh, I'm sure. People like deep fry them and eat them and shit. Yeah.
See, do they taste? I mean, they'll do that to like grasshoppers.
Yeah, I have no idea what they taste like, nor do I really want to try.
How much money?
Oh, you don't have to give me much to try.
Shut up, man. But I had somebody at the jiu-jitsu the other day. This shout out to Darcy, local cop. And she's like she's going big, dude. She was, to start the conversation, she's at 50 grand to start. That was like fried, seasoned,
dude, no,
barbecued up, like the whole bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, look, I got to get down to raw. At raw, just, you know, crunchy and still gooey.
Yeah.
She was easily like $500,000 a bug.
Yeah.
How many does it take for you?
Let's
start cooked, seasoned, any seasoning you want, cooked any way you want. A plate of 5.
A plate of 5? You had to eat
bucks.
all 5?
All $5.
I don't know. That's a little different. If it was just one, I could like and just sucks.
No. You're
but
not,
5?
You went down real easy. You're like, I don't even have to get paid. $2. They're cooked just how you.
I would go like if I got I got more money each one I ate.
A progressive pay.
Progressive pay.
All right.
So I would do like $100 for one.
$100 for one?
Yeah, $100 for one.
Okay. All right.
I'd do like $250 for 2, $500 for 3, $1,000 for 4, and like maybe jump that up $2,500 for 5.
25, so it's an average.
But it's cooked, right? This is cooked.
Seasoned.
Yeah, this is cooked.
The whole rack.
Yeah,
any which way you need.
This is cooked. Yeah.
You want any sauce?
It's dead. It's cooked. It's deep fried.
Dead.
Yeah.
So dead.
Yeah,
right.
That's fine.
Opposite side of the coin. Living, still kicking. So do
I have to eat it alive or can I kill it?
Eat them. 5. A plate of 5.
Can I kill it?
No. You going in whole hog, just like a lizard, alive.
I can't even like chomp it the head off or something.
In. Done.
I don't know
size.
about that, dude.
$250 to start.
Oh, how hungry am I?
It's disgusting. No matter what you do.
Like, well, it's relevant. If I was naked and afraid, dude, I'd be fucking like eating those like popcorn.
I'm with you. If we're both naked and afraid in the rough streets of Loveland, Ohio, yes, I'm eating them fine. Yeah. But if you're just like, you know,
if I just had lunch at Doc's,
$1,000 a bug.
No, it had to be progressively get higher.
Where do you start?
I would start at I might start at 1,000.
Fuck off. $1,000?
Yeah,
Dude,
1,000.
You're going. You
2,500, 5,000.
I need a new
10,000.
car's worth of money every time I do this.
Really?
At least a nice car, like a real.
See,
asshole
the kicker. I don't know. I hesitate though because the kicker is I'm not allowed to kill it first.
Like it's still
no.
And you're.
I don't know. It's gonna probably be higher because the problem is it'll get stuck in your throat because it's trying to crawl out.
You got to work it out.
Like you're not even letting me like eat the head off or something. I just gotta like no, dude. That thing's crawling up your throat. Wait, but, okay, in that case, yeah it's gonna have to be higher.
No. If you can crunch it up though, it's alive. It goes in your mouth alive, whole, but you can chew it up.
Okay. Like I at least kill it.
So you don't have to go full.
Can I kill it before it goes in my mouth? Like
no, because I don't think that doesn't sell it. Because if you're like,
if I could kill it, like, and then like put it in,
and subsequent, because you don't have to. No, but the squirm.
Maybe 2,000 start.
$2,000.
2, 4.
Fuck
yeah,
off, dude.
No, wait. Do I get a chaser? No, that's important.
What's your go-to chaser when you're eating
dude
potatoes?
It will be like Jägermeister. Like I'm gonna get progressively drunk, like double shot every time. Okay, next one. So then by the time I get to my 5th one, I'm less like hammered. I'm like
no, I don't think that's painful enough.
Wait, do I have enough time?
No, I don't think
do I gotta do it within like 5 minutes?
No, there's how much time would you need?
Or can I like eat it, throw up in the bathroom? You know,
no, because that doesn't count, right? Wasn't that like the rules on
I don't know what the rules are.
Fear Factor?
Fear Factor? Survivor?
Could they throw up?
I don't know. I never watched it.
No, I don't feel like it counts. You got to keep it down. Look, here's the rules. Keep it down. I'm fine with progressive payments. I'd like a lump sum. How much am I doing this for? Like,
No, because then you gotta finish it. And then if you already ate one and you're on the second one and you're like, I can't. Well, then you fucking just ate one. No,
dude.
Progressive payments all the way, dude.
Listen, tax-free, okay? Tax-free.
You're not even going to get to 5. You think you'd get to 5 with the limitations you gave me?
At the same time.
No, one at a time.
One at a time. Fine. One living.
You think you can eat all 5 alive at the same time? You cannot do that. Without...
No, but it's like that little.
You cannot, dude. You would not.
No,
knowing you, dude, you can't even eat ranch dressing. You're like,
dude. No. Add another 20%. I'll put ranch right on it. You put your favorite.
No, if you allow me to put ranch on it, shit, dude, I'll do that for free.
That's disgusting.
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
So $1 million, $1 million, cash money, bugs all day. I'm doing it.
Okay, for $1 million, I'll do that naked.
500,000. $100,000 a buck. 100 for grand, just
cash.
100.
Like I don't have to pay tax.
No tax,
dude. Yeah, I will do that. Like with like
you're a cheap date, dude.
I do that with like nipple clamps on. I don't give a shit.
That's an OnlyFans. That's an OnlyFans.
Dude, I do that. No, 250,000. No, anything over 100,000, I do it. That's a lot of money. Think of 100. You know how many bills you could pay off.
$100,000 tax free.
You could buy a house.
That's 20, 30.
Put a down payment on a house.
Tax rate.
Yeah, no taxes. It's tax free.
You know,
I'd do it for 100,000. I don't get no, dude. So it's when you get down like under 10,000 that's like now I can make that. Like I'll go sell a few things. I'll go sell a few things and keep my dignity. You know.
But 100.
But 100, I could like pay off this. I could go buy that. I could do a few things. Yeah, you know, I might be sick for like a few days, but hey, I'll handle it. Over 100,000, yeah, I'm game.
So that's
million. It's not even a thought. Million. Where I'll go right now.
Let's go.
I'll go find. I'll go find the cicadas and I'll name them all and everything. Well, I'll put them down my throat.
Yes. Yeah. $100,000. That's a fair point. $100,000 tax free.
Because you guys start to think about all the things you're gonna pay. You know, like oh shit. You know, and
not that much.
But it is tax free. I mean, come on, you could get a house a down payment on a house.
But and then what's weird, man, is the trucks. So I'm looking around. So all right, so I'm looking to like fix up the truck.
Yeah.
Right. So it's black,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, I really want like an old school looking paint job.
Yeah, but see, that stuff's depreciating. I would buy stuff that would
like. Be that as it may, I get it. Equity.
Yeah,
I get it. I feel it. I'm just saying that in my discovery, because I'm not much of a car guy. I think neither of us are really.
No.
And really. So I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, old Bronco, old F-150. So like the cream color with the blue and all that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm looking and I'm like, all right, $6, $7, $8 for the paint job, and do you wrap it? Right, there's another option, slightly cheaper, all this stuff, right? So I'm like, all right, and then I'm looking at like the fancy step down thing, the rails on the side, and like new seats. But bro, everything's like $2,000.
Right, so like that's why that's a dumb spend on it.
But then I'm like, well, how much are new trucks these days?
It's expensive.
Like $90,000, bro.
Right. Yeah, and that's why again it depreciates the moment you drive it out the lot.
Well, what are people doing?
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's a dentist. Like, what in the world? They're driving houses.
They're poor. I mean, they're in debt. They don't own that.
It looks good. The rims look good.
Yeah.
I want those.
No, I'd buy another like investment property. I'd Airbnb that shit and make money off of it.
Bro, I'll tell you what.
And I'd be
buy like 5 houses.
And I'd like
Wilmington.
Live with cicadas at that point.
Yeah, no, dude, if that was...
But if it was $1 million tax-free, I could take all of it home.
If that's a one-time pay on that $1 million for the $5 or whatever, it might be $100,000 for the $5. If it's a one-time pay, all right, sure. Give me ranch too. I don't care. I'll do it on camera. But if that was just what it was, right? Like every week I can go back to the well, dude.
Yeah. Now, if it's like I can prepare it however I want.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need that much for that.
Practically though?
No, like let's say I can prepare it all I want. I'd chop that shit up, dice it up. I'd mix it with like meatballs and some shit like to mask it. Put some like anchovies, some nasty shit just to like mask the taste. No, I'm not saying that's going to be appetizing. I'm just saying like, okay, all I taste is anchovies. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's like, okay, I can't even taste it because there's just some other obnoxious taste that's acceptable that I could stomach. Now that, give me $100. Sure, whatever. I'll do it. I don't care because you're not going to taste it. You're going to chop it up, make a ton of like meatballs and shit. Put some noodles, spaghetti. By the time it goes down, you're not gonna taste shit. Now, if it's like living,
raising money for this, bro,
dude. If it was money and you give me $1 million, I'd do 5 of them alive, naked with a butt plug and nipple clamps.
Yeah. Fact. I'd help you apply it for 20%. Right? Give me $200,000, bro.
For 20%? I'm not giving you shit.
Look, you need moral support.
No, I don't need shit. I'll happily do it in front of an audience for $1 million. I don't care.
We could capitalize on the event, dude. I think it's small.
Yeah, you can make money off of
because we can put the event together, right?
Listen, you can make whatever money you can make off ticket sales. That's all you. But dude, if I was gonna get $1 million tax free, I could use it however I want.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. What does that mean? That's like if you get $1 million, that's basically half.
Yeah, because that's all investments for me at that point. And I'll just let that money make money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Buy investment properties and let that money make money and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I'll embarrass myself for that money.
$38 for that money? Just walking around in a banger of a suit, new car. Yeah.
No, see, at that point, because after I invested, I have money rolling in. It doesn't matter what I wear. I won't be wearing no suit. I'll be wearing this every fucking day. Nobody can say anything.
To the bank.
Dude, that and like leather straps around myself.
Yeah.
I don't care. Right. Yeah. You're like, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Yeah, that is the guy. He's rich as hell. Look at him. Wish somebody paid me to eat bugs.
Mr. Cicada himself. Dude. Yeah.
Anyways.
I didn't know where
I was just asking about bugs, but that got us far. So so it's hot as hell, right? One of the things we were talking about summertime. We're well into summer at this point. I think, anyways, I don't know when the summer solstice was. It was fairly recent. I don't know about that stuff. Doesn't matter. So I'm looking forward to 4th of July is on my mind.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to get into. So,
From cicada to the 4th of July? Okay, I don't know how your brain works.
it's just what's on my mind. So,
Okay.
you do kind of ridiculous event at your house. I think.
Oh yeah, that's our main event is every year. It's just 4th of July.
Yeah.
One, I love the significance of 4th of July because I love this country.
Right.
And two, like, what better time of year just to blow up fireworks? So I love that. Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say, I genuinely have a bit of a like concern and worry like every year. Like I just want to get through the fireworks, make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
I do really genuinely.
Yeah.
There's
a bit of that. I get it.
So like I gotta trust the parents who are monitoring the kids while I'm blowing up the big fireworks in the backyard, and then inevitably it tips over and like shoots at our sheep or some shit. Right. So I'm generally concerned about that, but I love it every year. That's our thing. Have as many people as we can over.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be on the parents' firework part this time around. We're gonna get somebody else in that one.
Oh, okay. So tell me why? Because maybe I need to not have that part.
No. I'm just saying that because it's intense. I want to make sure everybody's okay too, and like
maybe you got to have like lines. All right, next kid here, light this sparkler. Yeah, all right, next kid.
As the sun goes down, that's where the chaos really takes
over.
Yeah. Because you can't really tell, and then little Johnny's got the lighter on their own. You're like, he's fine. He's been good for 6.
Why was a parent giving little Johnny a lighter? Anyways, okay, freedom, I gotta have rules. It's rules with these parents.
It's fine. We're,
What was it last year? Was America. You and Derek Brown?
Derek Brown.
Yeah,
and his old lady too. She stepped in, but. Derek, good man, right? Little laxed.
A little lax for your
little bit lax in the fireworks.
My favorite scene was watching Reed, your son. Right. He was just like holding 2 Roman candles.
Sure.
He was so excited. He was so happy. I'm like, okay, just hold these 2, but hold in that direction. Right. Let it like. He was so happy. I wish I had a camera just to take a picture of that moment.
Yeah, we need that
because that would have been a great keepsake.
Yeah,
he was so.
Yeah, I can picture like the shot, like he's like shooting him off.
Yeah,
and it's like from below at the knee, just kind of checking like the glory in his face as he feeling the power.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing.
It was the best. Yeah, but it's more than that too. Like a lot of the kids were in the pool. Just enjoying the spectacle,
right?
Music in the background.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I really hope it's not as hot on 4th of July as it is right now.
So fucking hot, dude.
It is so hot right now.
Outside. I can't even stand it.
We're all gonna be like squished in the pool because it's
so hot. Yeah, man. Yeah, those are good times, man. Yeah. I dig. I mean, it's so wholly American.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's our holiday. But I don't know, dude. Does anybody do it that big? Of course they do. Look, there's running with the bulls. There's like, they're straight crucifying people for Easter. I mean, people are crazy around the world.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But God, does it hit good when you're at American 4th of July, bro?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
a good time.
Good old fashioned fun.
Yeah,
especially being out of the country. Yeah. Like when you're like, and I want to say this about our party, but when you're like celebrating with like these good old boys,
it's a good time.
Dude, it's not just fireworks, it's like guns and shit. Like
it's so good. Yeah. There's like the when you're around people that are there to celebrate freedom. Like for real.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, anything you can strike.
The flags are waving. Yeah. You got the burgers and the brats cooking. You got cornhole and just playing games and swimming in a pool. A lot of laughter and good music. It's just good times. I would say 4th of July has become my favorite holiday. Honestly. Yeah, because. Christmas is so commercialized,
right?
And it's like just what I get for Christmas type of a thing. Yeah. And then you got to play this whole Santa Claus game, which I hate. That we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But like, I like the significance of Easter, of course, because my faith. But even that is kind of like, why are we, I just get really jaded about the whole,
What's with all
but
the
4th of
rabbits?
July, it's just freedom and let freedom ring,
Yeah, dude.
just let freedom ring. And just for a moment, you're with all your friends, just having a good time, laughing, yucking it up, and just counting your blessings.
Yeah. So freedom, right?
Yep.
Freedom. I just was watching what's the chick from North Korea, man? She got the big rack. Yeonmi Park.
Yeah.
Yeonmi Park. Fantastic interview. Just enlightening. Just wow. Right. And like, I don't know how old she is, probably 30 something years old, I guess. But first of all, harrowing story. I mean, Jesus, what she went through, her and her mom, and all, just like, oh my God. If you guys don't know, like, learn about that one. But the severity and the seriousness of that whole tale aside, her observation, like, dude, look no further, man. She's all about America. She's like, hell yeah, dude. Give me an eagle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's go. And her being asked in several different interviews and all these iterations of essentially the same interview. What was it like leaving there? How did you get out of there? And what is it like now that you're out? Right? Is the thrust of her entire, celebrity at this point, is the freedom.
Yeah.
The freedom of choice. I choose anything I choose. Right.
Yep.
And it's just so lost on us, man. I mean, most of us,
well,
it's hard to appreciate.
Lost on a lot of people. I think that's one of the benefit of being first generation from an immigrant family for me.
Yeah.
Because like my parents, they love America. They've always talked so highly of it. They're like, this is the best country, and they're from the Philippines. And you don't realize how great you guys have it. And so they instilled this whole idea that like, this is the best country in the world. Now I know that like there's freedom in a lot of countries, and there's a lot of countries that are wonderful, of course. But my parents were really adamant about, don't take for granted the freedom that you have in this country.
Yeah.
This is an awesome country, even with all its flaws.
Right.
This is an awesome country. And that's why I just grew up I just love this country. I've always, my parents instilled that in me. And I think it might be an immigrant mindset. Maybe, I don't know, maybe all immigrants, maybe just Filipino immigrants. I don't know.
No, but that's my dad. So my dad is first
land of
generation.
Opportunity, all
100%.
that. Yeah.
Like when my dad came, so my dad got over here when he was about 6 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
His oldest brother is 10 years older. And then my Uncle Phil, the middle brother, is about 3 years older. And so my dad never learned Sicilian, right? They spoke it in the house, right? His two older brothers certainly did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of tradition, but the cooking aside, but there's just a lot of things that like, first of all, he was very young, right? We all know my Aunt Carmela, she's like, God, in her mid 90s now, late 90s. And she doesn't speak a lick of English.
Wow.
Bro, she's been here.
Yeah.
Well longer than both of you and me have been alive. Right. And so my point is that you don't have to assimilate. Right.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm pretty sure she was like kind of a stay-at-home wife. And, they all worked in like, as far as I can figure it, that generation, my grandparents' age, my parents, like they all worked in factories up in Paterson and Clifton, New Jersey and stuff. So it's kind of like back in that day, you kind of were intentionally isolated, right? Because it's like, hey, let's kind of congregate with ourselves for safety and numbers. And so you can kind of get away with that non-assimilation. But my dad had made it a point, and like the family vibe was, no, assimilate, right? Assimilate. Baseball.
Yep.
4th of July.
Yep.
Learn the language.
Yep.
Like be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
And there was another one. Old Arnold Schwarzenegger, just on the View, was asked something similar, because of riots. I mean, again, Jesus, what terrible things are going on in the world right now. But he was same idea. He's like, man, obviously I'm an immigrant, right? Still got the accent after all these years. But gee whiz, like talk about taking advantage,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Political office, married to a great family, kind of messed that one up, but oh well. All these kind of accolades and just,
Yep.
geez, made the most of the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he said, like, yeah, bro, I got to give back.
Yeah.
Right. That's my
Yeah.
vibe. Like
Yeah.
I came here and you all thought enough to kind of take me in.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Now
what
it's
I
time
can
to give
contribute.
back and contribute.
This is
Yeah.
what I'm doing for you.
Yeah.
So to me,
which I think is
fair enough.
Is
I
a
like
good
that.
American.
Yeah.
That seems to be an American mindset.
Yeah.
Like as you achieve, you give.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that's elsewhere. I always want to say that because I know
Seems
I'm just
to be.
the idiot American, but but I do feel like in general, like when people tend to excel here, they have that mindset of, okay, how do I give back? Because I was given the blessings and the opportunities and the freedoms to be able to achieve, you know, what I achieved.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's what interests me is like, and we talk about it, kind of the national character,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's difficult. Like I feel like Americans we're so isolated over here.
Yeah.
That like we just don't have much perspective. That's just unfortunately what it is. And
I think we have more perspective now that there's social media than ever.
I'll grant you that.
But I don't.
Yeah,
but I agree. But like a lot of countries, like we get a bad rep because a lot of countries say that, you know, we're not well traveled. We don't, you know, we don't go to different countries.
Yeah.
But they fail to understand that like the U.S. is so huge that like majority of us don't even travel within our own country, like only a few states, you know.
Right.
And every state has its own unique characteristics.
Right.
And so as a result, yeah, we are a bit isolated from that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, and
you know, we're bordered by the oceans, right? We have Canada, which is very similar to America in terms
more
of
syrup, more bears.
Yeah, more syrup, more bears, more Mounties.
Right.
You know, but you know, and the joke is when people go to like, oh yeah, I've gone to other countries, Canada. It's like, that's not another country. It's so similar. But anyways, point being though is like, yeah, we are a bit isolated, you know, and so we get a bad rap, I think. But overall, though, talking about the country's brand, I think we have a good brand for the most part.
Freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been the place to be for a little while now.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively speaking, of course, right? You look at like comparatively, geez, China, India.
Yeah.
Bro. Forever.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever. Thousands of years of history. And we're like, pretty cool here. And we're like the teenagers on the block relative to, you know, just time in.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point too. Because I thought about that with the US is it's easy to forget that we're a young country. We are like teenagers in the world, you know? And as a result, like any teenagers, we come up with pretty innovative ideas, creative ideas, because we're new.
Part of the national character, man. Innovation.
Yep.
Is
innovation, modernization, but then on the other hand, we also make very stupid
just
comments,
outrageous, dude,
stupid conclusions on things. We you know,
the decisions. I like the teenager analogy because it's like we've got ridiculous power at the moment, right? And it's like having the keys to a Lamborghini or something as a teenager, you know, where you're just like, yeah, wrap that one around the tree, you know, you just. Yeah. What are you doing? You know?
Right.
Jesus. But but we are eternally optimistic. That's another. I didn't know that was as much a part of the national character as I thought it was my own personal identity. Right. But like when you think of like, I only know this really from British comedians making observation, which by the way, comedic observation goes, you know, that's pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Pretty helpful. Anyway, so they make the observation that it's like, I think it was Eddie Izzard in a special years ago, where he's like, he's like, I love you Americans. He's doing it in San Francisco. I love you Americans because you guys are so optimistic and you want to, you know, you can do anything and bootstraps and blah, blah. Not so much in the UK and England, where it's like, you know, they ask a kid, however the joke goes, but it's like, what do you want to be? I want to be an astronaut. Well, you're English, so scale it down a bit, And then I want to shoot, shine shoes. Well, you're English, scale it down a bit.
Yeah.
And the whole goof is just that there's a ceiling in that society as a character.
Yeah.
Right. Up until that point, and I saw that one a long time ago, but it's kind of proven out in various ways. Like, oh yeah, I guess that's really not here. Like, I
mean, I think by and large, everybody's always promoting the dream big. You could reach your dreams.
Yeah.
What is it that you dream? You can get it, right?
And if you don't if you don't have stones enough to dream big, then they say shoot for the moon, hit an eagle, something like this, right? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah,
you'll be all right. And I think therein lies the kicker, though, right? Like, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what happens, there's a Home Depot down the road. We can sell some lumber. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. But it isn't that way everywhere.
No, right? And it's really not that way throughout the whole country either.
Fact.
That's just like this perception and this brand of the country.
Right.
But we got our own flaws. U.S. has its own problems. There's equity issues. There's diversity issues. Of course, we hear this. This is big every year. Discrimination, inequalities. Right. The U.S. has its own problems, but under the lens of we're such a young country and look at the progress we've made.
It's astonishing.
Yeah. But we still have our problems. But overall, like the brand of U.S. is pretty interesting, compelling, especially when you kind of compare it to like maybe other countries. Like, what are some of the brands when you think of the U.S. of A brand?
Yeah,
what words come to mind?
So innovation would be top of the list, right?
Freedom, capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism. The individualism would be a characteristic of. Not only is it like it's a characteristic of America, and it is a sought after character trait in its people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we are we want to show
individualism.
Yep. Right. For better.
I think of I think of hero. We have like a hero type personality. We want to save the day.
Yeah.
Power, right? Guns is always seems to be part of
the internet with when I think it was mostly when Trump got elected, maybe the first time, but it was like George Washington riding a dinosaur, carrying a machine gun with like a mullet and those big Macho Man glasses and like a bandana and just riding off to just do some shit, but that's it's funny that it's so hilariously cartoonish as well. That's weird. There's I think, for example, when I think of Germany, right, modern history, we don't have to go with the dark stuff, but just Germany in general, I think like, all right, these are a fastidious people. These are diligent, right? This is everything has its place, right?
I think quality.
Yeah.
I think sturdy.
High standard.
I think high standard. Yeah. Precision and just
right, like engineered
precision,
and weighty, right? Everything. I think of the artists, like famous German art, right? It's very, even the paint itself is thick, rich. It's like dark wood, and brass, right?
I think the same thing with the Swiss. I think of precision engineering.
Yeah.
The watches, like all the gears and intricacies, they're refined. Yeah. Right. I think of Japan and they perfect things. They may not innovate because it's part of their culture to not stick up, or what's their saying there? The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Right. Okay. And so it's kind of ingrained to kind of be homogenous and be like the others, but they're masters at perfecting things and just
any system you got, anything it is, they're going to make it better.
They're going to make it better
as a society.
Right.
Right. As
they're just going to make it better. Right. And refine it and just, and from the electronics to the cars to, all that stuff. It's fascinating how each country has its own. China, they unfortunately, they do it to themselves, I think, but like China has a reputation of like cheaply made,
Yeah.
Right.
Speed.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Speed.
as that old adage goes, right? I can get it to you cheap, fast, or whatever it is. It's like, but you only get 2 of the 3, man. You know,
Yeah, right.
It's going to get to you fast,
Yeah.
and it's going to be kind of not.
But that part of it is because they imitate. What do you call it? They imitate products.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, the patents over there. They don't have.
Yeah, they don't have.
So they just rip your shit off.
They rip your shit off.
Like,
but then the quality is not as good. You could buy Louis Vuitton bags, but the letters don't line up. Or I knew a guy who bought like a whole set of like whatever ping golf clubs, and then goes out, he's all bragging about, oh, I got this for so cheap in China, and goes on a golf course and swings.
That's
and
the sound it made. Went bing, and just the head fell off.
And the head flies off. And everybody's just laughing. Unfortunately, that's kind of the perception that they get, right?
That's what you get.
And their brand. And so every culture has its brand, and it reminds me, when I was doing a lot more traveling in different countries, one of the questions I love asking when I'm in that country is I ask them, I'll ask the bartender or the server or whomever. I say, hey, what's your perception of Americans?
Yeah.
And you know what? Usually it's one of 2 things. It's either arrogance, right? Or what's even more than that, they say maybe because they're shy, they don't want to be as direct and say you guys are arrogant, but they say you guys love your flag, which to a certain degree for the U.S. that's sort of synonymous, right? Because we're arrogant about our country. We
check us out.
Yeah, we hold up our flag. We mount it up on our vehicles. We have the window clings. We wear it on our bodies all the time. But it's usually often one of those 2 responses, and more than anything, they respond by saying, "Man, you guys love your flags. What's up with your flag? You just love it." And I stopped and thought about that, and I was like, why is that always seems to be the answer that people give me, And I think because that's the truth. Like, by and large, America, we do love our flag, and if you look all the way back to like the anthem, written by Francis Scott Key, right? The whole thing was about the flag and how soldiers were holding that flag up to not admit defeat.
Don't let it fall.
Don't let it fall, right? And yet we still survived, and we had independence over the British, right? And so that flag has always been a symbol of we will not give up, we will not give in, we will fight. It's characteristic of the volunteers who fought in an army. Like, we will not give up our land to the king, right? We would rather die. And that's why even the gun laws, and you'll never take away the gun rights from Americans, because without that, we would never have been independent in the first place, with the volunteers and all that helping. Right. Like, it's so, our identity is so wrapped up into that flag, that's a huge part of our brand. And other countries, they either look down on it or laugh at us, or you guys are arrogant. But to a certain case, we are. I mean, I've heard friends say the other day, he's like, I heard a friend say, we're back-to-back World War, what do you call it? Back-to-back World War II champions, motherfucker. That's what my friend said. He's like, USA, baby. Back-to-back World War War champions, motherfucker.
Since,
right?
Although we don't call them wars, but whatever you want to call
that's
it.
Just that. And I was laughing when I heard it. Okay, that's kind of funny. But whether people know to say that or not, people tend to have that. Don't mess with us.
It's funny that it's rooted in. So it's not completely unique, right? Because there's any number of countries that are formed of rebellion, right?
Oh yeah.
So
that's the thing, and I think that's where we don't really know much, because we think that we're the most free country in the world, or there's other countries that are probably have more freedoms than us, right?
As you think out there,
and that's where the whole we're arrogant, and we're not knowledgeable of world of different countries, because
maybe it would be, I speculate that it might be fair enough to say that that freedom exists elsewhere, of course.
mm-hmm.
However, they're not as ready to espouse their freedom. In other words, like quietly accepting almost.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, and we know it's free here too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we just don't have to be an asshole about it.
Do you
have to be crazy?
Do you think it's possible for a country to change its brand? Like, for example, I saw something where like China was trying to, how do we change its perception of Chinese made?
That's
right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that a country can actually?
That was all right. Well, let's take China, right? So, famously, one of my favorite Jet Li movies is Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just love the story. It's a decent kung fu movie, but the story is amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes place around the turn of the century into the 1900s, where China is seen as the sick man of the East, is how it was described, as the British kind of use their marketing, their bullshit to get one over on the country, right? So all kinds of countries are going and they're basically doing them wrong. And so it takes, whatever the history from there, that's kind of the turning point to where this national character becomes, no, we're not. No. Our, dynasties from past years were this, right? No, we have a rich history.
Yeah.
Right. And when you really boil it down, it's actually one of the richest histories on earth, right? Because they've been around since forever. Documented everything. So whatever part of China happened to have touched whatever kingdoms of the day, right? The Persian Empire as an example, and whatever the Indian country became, right? Whatever, all those people were somehow or another touched by China.
Oh yeah.
And it still remains pretty much the same up until, the 1900s.
Yeah.
So they embraced that rich history, and they eventually turned around after a very long time. They turned around that whole national character. Now, quite a formidable country, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot, dude.
And I've been to China, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's when you go to other countries, it's amazing how young America is, because I went to China and and the thing is, it's changed so much since I've been there. It's some of their big cities changed within 24 hours. Where did that building come from? You know, it's that's how fast these guys work, and it's constantly innovating and getting bigger and bigger, right? But still, you could go to these out in the country, and you could see these villages. And you're like, this is amazing. This is centuries old.
Right.
Cobbled roads that I'm walking on
since before Jesus.
Right. It's
you're like, what?
Unreal. Yeah. And I remember just being just in awe of that, the stories that have to be here.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom.
Right.
It's beautiful. And then I went to Japan, and it's the same thing. It's wow, look at this, the shrines and and so I do know, man, there's so much more out there that's yet to be explored.
Yeah.
And when you do, it just gives you just appreciation, of just the world, and the world becomes smaller. And then also you appreciate where you come from too.
Yeah.
Although I think more and more people are once they go to other countries, man, I like it here better than America. I mean, that's happening more too.
Yeah.
Because the standard of living is changing in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
People are moving out to the Philippines. Americans who work remote, they'll get incentives to live out in the Philippines. Man. They're looking out at the ocean, living near the beach, and in a condo that is really affordable.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I'll never go to the U.S. This is amazing. So you get that too. Well, okay. So back to the question about countries changing their brand. I think a country that's done really well in recent years is South Korea.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know the specifics or anything, but it's obvious that they have made it a goal to for their culture to permeate the world.
Yeah.
From their cars to their K-pop music to their movies. Like, man, they're putting out great movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how many movies I've watched where it's all dubbed.
Right.
And I'm just like, this movie is like amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're excelling in so many different like cultural ways that it's permeating. And, you know, look at Squid Game. That's South Korean. Yeah, again, I mentioned the K-pop, South Korean, and like that's exploded everywhere, right?
You know, I was just in Washington Courthouse, a little ways from where we're at in Wilmington, and there was Korean on one of the signs in town. Nowhere else. Speaking of that, it just kind of comes to mind, like, what is going on? What is going on? I wonder if there's a corporation or something out there.
You know, what's interesting?
I never see it.
So where you probably saw it is probably at a church, because what's fascinating is South Koreans, they send missionaries too. And so they've sent missionaries to the U.S. Can you believe that? You think that missionaries only come from the U.S. and you go to other? No. Like, I met pastors and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm a missionary. I'm like, oh, cool. Are you on like furlough? Like, you know, on break? Vacation? Like, no, I'm like trying to
save you, heathen bastards over here. Right?
I'm trying to save you. I'm like, oh, wow. That's cool. I mean, that's wild. Like, okay. But like, I think that South Koreans, from their technology and everything else, like they've done such an amazing job just evolving their brand, you know, in a very significant and influential way. It's fun to see.
You know, it's a funny take too, right? Because I think it's funny how McLean here to music. Anyways, it's funny how we're looking at the brand of a country, right? The identity of the country, and boiling it down to X.
Yeah.
Right. It's difficult to call. I think a lot of the world looks at Americans as like the classic blonde hair, blue eyed, you know, crew cut type of dude from way back in the 50s with all the propaganda.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think that. I honestly don't.
Right. If you asked AI to make America as a person, that's probably what it would look like.
Okay. Well, here's what my thought on that. I think like before social media and all this access,
more so, 100%,
right?
Yes.
That maybe they had more of a Hollywood perception of what Americans are.
That's what I'm saying.
But I kid you not. Now you ask internationals, like, what do you think of Americans? They think of fat. You're just fat.
Oh my God, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not blonde hair. Yeah. No, maybe blonde hair wise, but you're also like 300 pounds.
Just, you got the diabetes.
Because when they look on social media, we make fools of ourselves. We look like idiots on social media.
Hey, bro.
We look like idiots. And so
that kills me, man. Yeah, like
like social media has not helped our national brand.
Like,
they need to see how arrogant we are,
that's
how
interesting,
crazy we are.
So wait a second. Here's the marketing, right? Okay. So if the government controls the narrative to the world, right, which they did up until X while ago, right? It's like they project. Well, let's just say it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Bruce Willis. Right. Yeah. So, okay, got it. Check. Right. But it's funny how just what you're saying, it's like, no, social media has now taken the veil off of that. And we heard the rumors, like if we are the world, it's like, we heard the rumors. There's a couple of idiots floating around in America, but it can't be all that bad. Yeah. And then you just see people like, putting bottle rockets up their butts and all this kind of, you're just like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. By the way, what are you doing with the blessed freedom you have?
Right.
That part of it as an American drives me out of my mind.
It drives me
insane. You're telling me that's what you did with it? I don't give. I just how I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You look like a complete jack off.
Yeah.
All day.
Right. And it makes us all look bad.
You're doing it to all of us. So here's how it.
Other countries look at you and think that I'm like you.
So you pick a group of people, right? Yeah. The Italians, right? I'll use my own family. When they would see like the guys down at the Jersey Shore, hey, yo, Tony, not for nothing. They're starting shit and they're pointing like this, like they're mobsters. But they're not mobsters. You're right. Kmart, right? I know actual mobsters.
You're not right.
Yeah. Anyways, so what does my family say? Right? They're all hardworking, fresh off the boat, still got the accent, busted their ass in the factories, sent one of their sons to college. They're not happy with that.
Right.
He looks like a jerk off.
You're making us look bad.
Ruin it for everybody.
Exactly.
What do you do? So now as an American, as an identity, it's like, oh, shut up, bro. Stop putting that on the internet.
Yeah.
The whole world thinks that we're all like this. You're screwing it up.
And then you add the media on top of everything, and like it's all bad news. What's the latest shootings, right? So and so like people just think like America, Wild Wild West. We're just going around with like guns, like
just
having
like
face-offs or whatever you call that. Like,
thing we're just shooting at each other in schools. Like
it's like that's not us at all. But yeah, it's like the more people have access to our lives, the sadder we look, dude. That's what I'm saying. I don't think people look at us and say, "Oh, blonde hair, blue Hollywood skin." No, it's not.
I was going to go somewhere else with that. I can't remember it now, but no, you're absolutely right. I think that in the most modern of times now, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I'll tell you the other way around too, right? Is that we used to get all our info from like the, I wouldn't say the government. I don't really know what that means, but just this apparatus of like a couple of news channels and a couple of ways to get info in and out of the country, whatever that is. Okay, so now it's like wide open. Okay, so our perceptions elsewhere as well, right, is a hot button topic. But some of the countries that are shooting missiles at each other right this very minute as we record this, right, unfortunately, bro, those people are trying to barbecue just like we're trying to barbecue. Yeah, and it's y'all's governments, right, that are messing up. But now the difference is that we have a direct link to see what they're doing. Yeah. Right. That is an interesting dynamic. Yeah. So such that it does this. It says, last time I checked, right, anybody that I've ever met that has traveled abroad, right, with very rare exception, they're like, nah, man, they were cool people. Yeah. And essentially, in spite of what you heard here in America. Right. That you shouldn't trust or it's dangerous, Okay. And essentially, it's really just like, well, just follow the rules of the road, man. If you're in South Chicago, you might want to be careful. Yeah. Right? Any asshole.
Although I do want to go to the south side of Chicago. Right. Just because, like, I watched Shameless and I love that show. Yeah. But, like, when I talked to an Uber driver last time we were there, they're like, no.
Probably shouldn't.
You don't want to do do that.
Liable to get fucked up.
And I'm like, really? Like, I just want to see the house that they recorded Shameless in.
No, they took pictures of it.
You don't want to do that.
Nope. But the thing is that, like, certainly it's much more severe elsewhere where there's active war, right? And that's a fact. And there's places all around Asia and Africa that you're just not going to want to be at. Yeah. Fact. Yeah. We get that. But for the most part, it's fine. It's fine. And it's really not that bad. And it's the people, by the way, that are just fine with us, right? It's really, it lifts the veil and shows you, oh, it's just our government's fighting over resources and power and bullshit and all this political bullshit. And it's like, we're all, the citizens of the world, just like looking at each other like, I don't know, looks like you guys got a cool beach over there. We got a cool mountain. You know what I mean? We just want to hang out, man. Yeah. Right. So, and we do. So we, if anybody gets a chance, I guess around the world, if you guys are watching this, and come check out the 4th of July, man, because fireworks get you you just come hang for the party. Yeah. Get a dumb shirt, right? Get some Macho Man glasses.
Yep. Get ready to drink.
Yeah, dude. Get some Bud Light or whatever it is. Budweiser if you're feeling froggy. Get oh man, what else? Yeah, a good burger dog combo. Like I like my dogs burnt, like super burnt, so they split. And yeah, man, like catching fireflies and just as the fireworks are gonna get going.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's
a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Too many good memories on that night.
Yep. Is Shannon gonna be bringing some her desserts?
She is, man. I think it's gonna be cheesecakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cheesecakes. What's up, bro?
That's just good. That's just good stuff right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I hope. Well, first of all, as we start to close in, I sure hope things by the time this episode drops aren't any worse in the world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I know that it'll be a good time on 4th of July. Like yet another opportunity to make some good memories, and for like just a glimpse of time, feel the unity. Like
for a glimpse of time,
like it's all good. It's all good. We're free. even though some jerk offs over there are recording themselves doing stupid stuff, right? And we're all paying to see it.
The recent one I saw was like the guy was playing. They're playing baseball. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
And he's like swinging a bat at bottle rockets coming at him. Dude, that reminds me of my childhood though. We used to do that. We used to go on either end of the street and launch bottle rockets at each other. You had to like dodge them and shit. But no, he was like winding up, and he hit like the third bottle rocket he hit. One almost hit him. But I'm like, that is American right there. That's the stupid shit that we do.
Murica. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I think what is it? Trey and Matt Stone from South Park, the movie they did with the puppets. Was it in that movie? Team America.
Oh yeah,
right?
Team
America coming to sit. That whole thing, brilliant.
Yeah,
like that's kind of us. We're kind of goofy.
You know, I think about like I can't wait for 4th of July playing Toby Keith's music, the late Toby Keith.
Yeah,
and all his American songs. You put a boot in his ass. It's the American way.
I didn't know that was him.
That's it.
I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Especially during a time like when we're, I think it was like the Iraq War and all that stuff, man. Or when we got the September 11th, man, he banked, dude. He capitalized. He just like put out one after another. Just
so literal though.
Yeah.
There's like who wrote this?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
but it really speaks to the heart of Americans. Like, you're like, yeah. Especially when that attack happened.
Yeah.
And he's singing that, that song. It's like everybody's like, come on, fuck with us, dude.
That's right. That's right. And now, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And now the world can see just who's saying it because it's all of us.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
let's say, and Uncle Sam put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty starts shaking her fist, and the eagles will fly, and there's gonna be hell. Oh, come on. And then with the Liberty Bells, ding, 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 in the background.
You're having a moment.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
I got it.
Whole damn world is raining down on you. Yeah, brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they don't do that elsewhere. Right?
I don't know. I'd love to hear some songs actually. Like
they don't do it.
But like, dude, there's nothing like that. And then playing that during 4th of July, fireworks burst into the sky.
Yeah.
There's nothing that gets me like teary-eyed and goosebumps.
You get all
misty-eyed
thinking about
that line, brought to you courtesy. Come on.
Is that
the red, white, and blue?
We're gonna put that in the playlist.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on repeat, dude. On repeat. Complete
Stapleton.
Complete propaganda. We're just gonna like brainwash everybody.
That's the theme of this 4th of July party. That's it. Total propaganda.
Yeah. Come on now.
Well, I think we've gone pro-America. This is it, man.
But we do say, I will say that we, even myself, like, of course, like everybody, we're biased to the country that you lived in, right?
Kind of have to be.
Right, you kind of have to be. It's a home team, right? It's like when you're in the Olympics, you root for the USA. It's like it's home team. Even if they suck. Yeah. It's just that's so you're biased naturally, and you kind of close your eyes to all the other good things happening around the country, around the world.
Yeah.
But just obviously we know like a lot of countries have freedom. A lot of countries have a better healthcare insurance system than us. A lot of countries have lower stress than us.
Whatever, bro.
Innovations galore, music and things that are innovating. Bro. Yeah, so we're not definitely.
They don't have all the bald eagles, bro.
Oh, well, what if remember, wasn't it Benjamin Franklin that wanted to have like the turkey as a national bird?
That's right.
How would that change our brand if they agree to that?
That's not a predatory bird,
bro. But what if they did? Yes, it's the turkey. But no, they said, no, that's a terrible idea, old Benny.
No.
We're going with the bald eagle.
Yeah. Eating salmon.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. See, all part of the brand.
Yeah.
All part of the brand.
Yeah, it's gonna be good for July. Well, I think we'll get out of here on that. Let's go. I'm fired up, man.
Yeah.
I'm fired up.
Yeah,
Let's
right?
go.
I want to take my guns out and start shooting them right now.
Shoot something. All right. Well, on that note, from the iconic era of advertising to the digital age, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ernie.
Keep it legendary.